Welcome to the Think Holistic Podcast by Indie Holistic Hub, a show designed to help you on your wellness journey. When you think holistic, you live holistic. Find out more at indieholistichub.com. Now, here's your host, Jenn Seffrin.
Hello, everybody. It is a great day to think holistic. I am super happy to get to spend part of my day with Julie Cooper, who is a registered nurse, and she is the co-owner of Prime IV Hydration and Wellness, which is in Greenwood. So thank you, Julie, for being with me. I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, most definitely. I would love to start off and share with folks your journey, who you are, your background as a nurse, like what's brought you towards holistic, and just begin your journey with us. And we want to learn more about you and your background.
Of course. I became a registered nurse a very long time ago. And my first love was long-term care. So yeah, I was a director of nursing for 25-ish years, and I just love serving that population, underserved, and they have my heart.
Yeah.
So from there, when COVID hit, it was sad, it was brutal, it was hard. So I needed a change. I needed a change for myself. So I ventured into medical surgical nursing, which at the hospital. So that was a refresher for me, for sure. And it took, a little bit of time to get with the program, but I worked that for a couple of years. And then I was approached by my chiropractor, and she said, I need help with something. Can we meet for coffee? And I said, absolutely, sure. What are we doing? And so she presented this idea to me that she needed glutathione, which is an antioxidant for her patients. And there was no real clean way to get the oral glutathione into her patients. So she knew that she needed to step, one step up and get it IV. And that's where I came in. Chiropractors cannot penetrate the skin. So getting an IV into somebody, she needed another person to help her with that.
Gotcha.
So she looked at so many different ways that we could go about this, and Prime IV was the absolute best solution for us because they use 503B pharmacies. All of their vitamins are GMP certified. They do 797 compounding, which is, it's just a very clean way to deliver these vitamins to the clients. And I call her my little vitamin snob, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Because she's she's asking me to take these. So she wants the very highest standard. And I've been a patient for 8 years, and I see the results that the relationship has corrected or enhanced my life. And I thought, why not share this with other people? And so we joined forces and brought Prime IV to Greenwood, and it's been absolutely wonderful.
Yay.
To watch the stories and hear the successes and, see what it's doing for me and my family as well.
Sure. It makes me so happy. I love hearing people doing things in the world that light them up.
Absolutely.
And it's the more that we have that, I think the world becomes a brighter place at large. So had you always been interested in like holistic or complementary modalities?
I have. And it's strange from a nurse because, nurses pass pharmaceuticals, and, I've always been one, I don't want to take medicine. I don't want to, do what you're supposed to do for wellness in today's society. I always wanted to try to find different things, eat clean, as best as I can, and just really enhance myself. So yes, I've always wanted that. How we met Dr. Leanne, the chiropractor that we're in business with, is my husband hurt his back. And I was like, you can't go to just any chiropractor. We need somebody who's holistically minded. And so I went on this big search, and I, vetted all the chiropractors in the area, and we landed in her, clinic because that's where we were supposed to be. And turns out it's for a very big reason.
Oh, yes. Beyond what you even imagined, huh?
Absolutely.
Those are the divine miracles that get to happen in our lives. Yes.
Yep.
So, well, I always am interested, like, did people grow up in a household that was like holistically minded? Like, when did that imprint get put in? And I think our nurses are going to really be crucial to creating this, what I would call paradigm shift in modern day world, to inspiring people and supporting them in their holistic wellness and their more natural lifestyle, so.
Yeah, no, the bringing up, I worked at Dairy Queen growing up. So
I worked at Baskin Robbins.
Right, yes.
We have ice cream in common.
Absolutely. So I think it's when I had my first child. I wanted to breastfeed. That was not cool 30 years ago. People were like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I want to feed my child naturally.
Yeah.
So it took having a baby to think, okay, how can we live cleaner? How can we live better? How can we do things differently? And thank you, Madison, because she changed that for me.
Oh, that's so precious. I mean, and it makes sense. Like, motherhood would prompt those deeper inquiries within, because gosh, a child, like, that's your child. Like, and if we all cared for people out there, like, they're our child, wow, what a difference that would make, because to me, it's between modern day medicine and tried and true complementary therapies and other care. It's like, there's a purpose for all of that. So how do we just meet this person where they're at right now? What is it that they need? So yay. Well, that's a beautiful thing. And kudos for breastfeeding 30 years ago.
People thought I was a hippie. I was like, no, this is just natural.
This is like how we were made.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So you touched on this a bit, and I'd like to talk a little bit more about IV therapy, especially for some people out there that maybe don't even know what it is. So do you want to just give that description of, like, what is IV therapy?
Absolutely. We have two different kinds of IV therapy, two different solutions, if you will. So the person comes in and we do a health intake questionnaire. We sit with them. We talk about their medical history, and we kind of build what they need with what their symptoms are or what their goals for the treatment are. So the person everybody gets 1,000 milliliters of fluid if they are clinically able to do that. And 50%, well over 50% of the United States is clinically dehydrated. It's hard to drink enough water. It's hard to get all of that in a day. So this is just filling that need. So people just from the fluid alone will come in and say, I feel amazing. But then on top of that, we can select different vitamins, minerals, and just put it together to make them a wellness plan and really enhance what they're feeling. I mean, if you're tired, you need Bs. If you're sore, you need magnesium, generally. And we can hand compound, because we do that. We have 797 compounding standards in our spa, which means every single ingredient that goes into the drip will have its own vial. So we build it. Where other places, it just says, this is the Myers cocktail, you draw it up and you shoot it in the bag. Ours is a little more selective, so we can say a little of this, a little of that, and go from there. So IV therapy is what food and water were initially made for, but it's depleted over time. The food is not so nutritious anymore. And so we're just, joining with that and just enhancing the patient or the client's experience.
Yes. So I had multiple questions pop up in my mind, so now I have to remember and pick one. Okay. One question is, if you could speak to this a little bit, there's taking in water, and then there's also like your body being able to fully utilize that hydration. And so what compromises people to maybe not being able to fully hydrate from their water? Is that a good question? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in order we have 1,000 milliliters of fluid that we put into your vein.
Mhm.
The equivalent to drinking that and your body being able to utilize that much is you drinking 2.5 gallons of water.
Okay.
Who can do that? That's really hard to drink 2.5 gallons of water.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to just come into the spa, spend 1 hour of your life, rest in the massage chair, chill out for an hour, and just get the nutrition and vitamins and fluid that your body needs.
Mm-hmm.
And that fluid, it'll take your body a while to process through the fluid, but people feel so good.
Yes, indeed. So I will say I've been in your space. It's lovely. Recently I was communicating with you and I'm like, I'm under the weather. And then you're like, we have a solution. And I'm like, well, of course you do. And I love that because it's like, we all need our reminders of like, what's available. And it had been a few days and my energy was horrible. I was sick of laying around. I'm like, I'm going in there. And I went in there the next morning and I tell you what, and thank you, within 24 hours, that following day, my energy was significantly different. So yeah, there you go. Amen. Hallelujah.
Hey.
All right. So you do it's hydrating us. And then you're also being able to put in other vitamins and nutrients that support the body, depending on what's going on for somebody.
Correct.
So for me, I did a immunity something, I think, right?
Immunity armor. Yeah.
Okay. So what else might someone come in for? Like, what else might someone like, what might prompt someone to come in for IV therapy?
Sure. Sickness is the obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that's obvious is hangover. I mean, that's an obvious one. But then you have people who have, my knees hurt, my joints hurt, I have inflammation throughout my body, and magnesium can be very beneficial for that. We have some patients that want to come in for allergies. High dose vitamin C can do magical things for your allergies. And it's just getting the right mix in you to combat what you've got going on. We had a person that has an essential tremor, and she gets magnesium, and that reduces her essential tremor a lot. I mean, it's significant. We have some people with some skin disorders. Vitamin D helps a lot with that. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's sometimes you're working on something that's wrong on the inside and it's not obvious. But sometimes when you come in with a specific problem, it is so obvious that the solution is vitamin therapy.
Mm-hmm. So are they meeting with you when they come in and having a consult? Like,
we have a staff of RNs, yes. And we look at the health intake form when they come in that the client fills out, and then they will meet with a registered nurse at that point to develop their wellness plan. And then every time they come in thereafter, we sit down and say, what are your goals? How are you feeling? Is there any changes in your medical history? Just to make sure that we're still on task with their goals.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I will say your team, like, I mean, it's a needle in the arm, and they have a great touch. Like, they do it so well. So anyone out there that's nervous about needles, like this, you all are the best at doing that. I've experienced not so good.
I am not an easy person to start an IV on. So everyone that we hire, we have another RN as well, Bobby, who is not a very easy stick either. Mm-hmm. So we make whomever we bring into the spa as a nurse, you have to start us.
Got you. Well, that's such a good way to ensure. I'm the same way. I'm not an easy stick. So Thank you for training him in that way.
Absolutely.
All right. So is there anything else you'd like to share about IV therapy in general? Specifically?
I mean, I just really want to touch on why we're different.
Yeah.
You come into our spa and we do the 797 compounding. That is huge. It's so clean. We have a vent hood in the back that it ensures that our IVs are, top tier. They are just very, very clean and very, very safe for the clients. The 797 compounding, the 503B pharmacies, the GMP certifications, they're all vegan and gluten-free, which is important to me. So, I just feel like our delivery is just so safe for the client. And that's why you really want to come into our space. It's beautiful. It's lovely. And it feels good, but it also is extremely safe for the client.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. And I was so thankful to learn more about that from you. And I was like, of course, like, I didn't think about that with the IV therapy. Like, it's not all equal. Well, like, most things aren't. Like, it's important to be our own best advocates, to ask good questions and to have a little bit of knowledge about things so we can ask those. The compounding, you were talking about that earlier. That was one of the questions that popped in my head. Is that compounding specific to IV therapy or vitamins in general? Like,
it's specific to us.
Got ya.
So we do the compounding because we're mixing different nutrients in, and we deliver 3 nutrients per like mode of delivery. So there'll be 3 nutrients in your bag, 3 nutrients in your pump, 3 nutrients in another pump, and then we have to push some. We can inject some. I mean, it's
okay. Got
yeah. It's just a very safe practice. Is what Prime IV preaches, I guess, if you will.
Yeah, that's what they're all about.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. I love it. Okay. So thank you for educating us on IV therapy and sharing about your journey, and keep it up. Keep on shining the light. Part of our show is also sharing some Think Holistic tips with our listeners just to inspire them on their journeys and keep them taking maybe one more step in their wellness journey. So what do you have for us today?
Hydrate, 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 of course.
Oh,
that would be number 1.
And that is super important
because nobody gets what they need, and you need that to feel good. Well, not nobody. I mean, some people can drink a ton of water a day.
Portion of folks,
not many. Yes.
Yeah. Or not getting the amount of hydration.
Correct. Second tip would be go to the chiropractor. It has been amazing. Dr. Leanne is a holistic chiropractor, and I enjoy her practice. My husband and I go weekly, and we will for the rest of our lives. Because it just feels good. When your body's functioning the way it's supposed to, you just feel better.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to play. We have 4 grandbabies. I want to continue to play with these babies for as long as I can.
Oh my gosh, 4 grandbabies. That's amazing.
So fun.
Yes. So when you went in for chiropractic care, what were some things you noticed that like keeps you going back?
Oh, I was in pain, and I really didn't know. I just thought it was old age. But it wasn't. Turns out I really didn't need to be in pain like that.
Oh, I'm so glad you discovered that. If people can hear that, do not chalk up anything to being, oh, I'm aging. Like, no, that's not it.
No, right. Correct. You don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to be in pain or any of these things. So that's beautiful. Yay. I'm glad you're not in pain anymore.
Me too.
So did you have any more tips for us? Those were your tips, correct? I didn't want to cut you off.
That was my 2. Yep, yeah, that was my 2.
And so we should invite people to our coming up event, because you're helping host our next Holistic Care and Fellowship gathering. So you and Dr. Leanne we're going to be at Greenwood Family Chiropractic.
Yes.
So we're going to be there on Sunday, June the 2nd. And I'll put that down in the show notes too for anyone tuning in. But it'll be a day for us to come together and be in a holistic, like-minded community. Our goal is to really love on the other holistics because we need our care and we need to prioritize our own self-care. So we're going to have some different things available. We'll do some art therapy. We will mix and mingle with each other and then just enjoy, those heartfelt connections. And we'll also be doing our love notes, sending love notes to the Make-A-Wish kids. So it'll be a lovely day of coming together. Thank you for hosting it and being a part of that coming up here soon.
Well, thank you for allowing us. It's going to be amazing.
It is going to be so good and juicy and yummy. I always love being together. So please, anyone tuning in, you can find how to follow Prime IV Hydration and Wellness in Greenwood in the show notes. Why don't you go ahead and share your website as well with folks that are just listening in? Maybe they don't.
Absolutely. It's www.primeivgreenwood.com. Facebook connection is facebook.com/primeivgreenwood. Instagram connection would be instagram.com/primeivgreenwood.
Yay. Excellent. Prime IV Greenwood is in the house. Let's see. How long has it been since you opened?
We opened to the public in August of 2023. So we're,
oh my gosh,
babies. We're just new.
Yeah. So you're coming up on your year mark this summer. Yeah.
Very exciting.
I look forward to celebrating that. And thank you all for tuning in, being with us to Think Holistic. You can also follow us at indieholistichub.com. And we look forward to the next time we get to be with you. Everyone have a blessed day.
Thank you for listening to the Think Holistic podcast by Indie Holistic Hub, a show designed to help you on your wellness journey. When you think holistic, you live holistic. To find holistic professionals near you, go to indieholistichub.com.